Look at me, I'm helping. Here, I'm gonna show you guys how fast this thing starts. Listen to this, listen to this. Look at that. So guys, I want you to remember, my truck's completely clapped because the instrument cluster doesn't work. No other reason, just because literally the instrument cluster doesn't work, it's clapped out. Listen to this thing. Doesn't make me money, but it sounds good doing it. Hey guys, so I've wanted to make this video for a little bit now. I just recently passed back over 2,000 subscribers, which is awesome. We used to be at 3,600 and kind of had the channel hacked back in January and lost all that. So now here we are 9 months later, finally making a comeback, sitting at 2,053 at the moment. So I'm a little late on this, but I've seen a lot of guys make this type of video and I've wanted to do one for a while, and now I finally have enough comments that I can say, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. So a little bit of background, I used to do RV transport. I did that for about a year. I had a 2004 Ram 2500, which is what I'm driving now, and also a 2006 Ram 2500. Both were dually swapped trucks, and ended up having a transmission go out in the 06 and then used it as a parts truck, and then now we have my 04. So that's where that came from. I got out of RV transport back in October, did towing for about 2 months with the company that I helped start a while back, and then I got out of it again, and then I moved to mobile mechanic and started doing some videos on rebuilding my 2004 work truck. So if you want to see those videos, go check them out. I have a bunch of playlists and a bunch of other videos on that since January. Now, I got into the mobile mechanic to kind of help out the community with transporters, hotshots, and all that. And who knew with, you know, doing a video series, you'd get a lot of hate. I mean, I didn't expect it, but, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not a perfect mechanic. You know, I have my issues and everything. I did videos on the mistakes that I've made. I've remedied those mistakes on my own vehicle. If I've ever made a mistake with somebody else, I've also tried to remedy it as best I could and take care of it. And yeah, so again, we get some hate comments and it is what it is. So I'm gonna screenshot the hate comment, put it on the video or on the screen, and as well as I'll probably go around the truck at the same time that I read these. So let's get into it. All right, so our first comment here, I'm not gonna consider this one really a hate comment. Actually, it's just kind of like an obvious observation. So he says, man, you need an engine wash bad. Gerard said that on one of the videos on my PA Cop Took My License, which he's not wrong. I mean, I took a rusty 12 valve and put it in my no rust 2004 truck. So, I mean, it's just kind of pointing out the obvious. So these are in order from like the newest to the oldest. So I'm just scrolling down the list. This guy sees no evil. He commented and said, this video was also the PA Cop Took My License over this. This one was, how about you fix your speedometer before anything else, clown. And then the clown face and the laugh react. So I kind of find this one funny. So I finally, if you guys saw what this truck looked like back in January, here we are in October, and I went over every one of the details on this truck. The only thing left that is physically wrong with my truck is this instrument cluster. This has nothing to do with the speedometer. When I did the 12 valve swap, we had an issue with the alternator, and what ended up happening was 18 volts went through it and fried the dash, and ended up actually like smoking. So none of these gauges actually work. The four on the outside, the fuel, voltage, oil, and coolant will actually just randomly fluctuate from 0 or where they're supposed to be, but they don't work. And then the tach doesn't work at all, it sits at 0. And this, I accidentally spun it around when I took it apart to diagnose it. So this one too just would sit at 0. Now the problem with this is I ended up buying a replacement dash or cluster, and it was for an automatic and it didn't work, and no one in my area will actually do this in a timely manner. So that's the only reason this dash is messed up. They wanted like a minimal of $300, and it's got to be like a couple weeks wait. So I'm going to end up pulling that eventually and sending it out to do it, but just not right now. That's literally the only thing wrong. So I'm using my gauge. This is my speedometer here with the edge monitor. So just a little backstory on that. So yes, fix your speedometer for anything else. Unfortunately, I'm not physically capable of fixing my speedometer because these are parts that are just not available anymore. Okay, so this guy commented, James Coda. Interesting comment. Almost lost my entire business over a mistake with DMV. Okay, so if you go back and watch that video, you'll see there was an issue with the DMV. There was a $25 ticket that apparently wasn't paid. I went and paid it the next day, got my license back, updated and everything, so all that's taken care of. But James Coda says, Joe Biden ain't the one that gave you the ticket. You gave yourself the ticket with a stupid ass truck like that. LOL, keep on giving your money away. So, I mean, it's kind of like funny. It doesn't really, like, okay. So people like to hate on the whole like modified vehicle thing in Pennsylvania. Yes, in Pennsylvania, it's just part of the game. It is what it is. I like how my truck looks, and that's just it. Because of how the truck looks has gotten me so much more business than, because obviously nobody knows what kind of work that I do until I put it out there on videos. And if I'm just filming a stock boring truck, it doesn't really get all that many views or anything. So I did a full like 180 on this truck looking like shit and going back to this, and it's like, I like the wide tire look and all that, so we went and took care of all that. The thing looks, I think, looks really nice now, and it still gets used for like off-roading purposes for if I have to do certain jobs and whatever. So he kind of made a comment about that. I mean, it is what it is. I like what it looks like. I'm assuming a lot of you guys, I'm gonna get out quick. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like it. And the fender flares. So the tires really don't stick out all that much anymore. So that's the next one. So I don't know if this one's a hate comment. I think this guy was just being a smart ass, but I did like the comment. It was kind of funny. So Colt K said, yeah, give it more fuel to clear up smoke. Makes sense. 5 laugh faces. So I was, what was that? In the video of the PA cop took my license, yada yada. That comment came from, I was having issues with fuel pressure, and I just kind of made the comment, but I don't think I clarified. I was having issues with fuel pressure, so I made a comment in there that said something like, if I fix the fuel pressure, maybe it'll clear up the smoke. I was referring to the pressure, not the actual amount of fuel, so we didn't really know what the problem was. So I was just kind of assuming that the fuel pressure being low, maybe it's still getting the same amount of fuel, but what they're doing with these new trucks, with the CP4s, they're giving it more fuel pressure but less fuel, and that's basically the same principle. I literally thought that, you know, I had low fuel pressure, so it was smoking a little bit, and maybe it'll clear up. Now, in his defense, it didn't clear up. It smokes like a freight train now, especially when boost kicks in. Holy hell. So that's just that. Another one, Psycho Babble RLS said, a cop cannot take your license, PennDOT has to suspend them. Well, no, you know what I mean, but I was just kind of joking around with the guy. So I responded back, I said, well, he took it, you know, with a laugh face and everything. It's all in good fun. I don't know which one of these guys are serious and which ones actually mean hate. I don't know. I'm not going to call him a hate comment, but it was kind of funny. I liked it. All right, so the next guy, I don't think this one's a hate comment either. I think he's just clarifying. But Class 8 Garage, he said, tires too wide in back, never pass inspection, needs to have splash guards on tires, fender flares to cover road spray, also headlight covers are a no-go. In my case, I don't actually have headlight or taillight covers. It's just kind of the lenses. That's the lens that's on there. But as for that, yes, I know about the tires. Yes, I know the tinted taillights are illegal. That's not a big deal. I still can get an inspection sticker every year because you can take that stuff off, or you can take the spacers off or anything like that. So as for the inspection, it's not really all that big of a deal. Okay, so this one's kind of funny. I kind of laughed at this one. This one was kind of funny. So on this video, it was broken down Ram 2500 wheel bearing replacement. Okay, so we all know that there is a torque spec on these, on the axle nut and this and that, but it's my vehicle. So this guy said, yikes, impact the axle nut. No wonder why the first bearing didn't last long. Loosen bolt with a torque wrench, but not retorquing anything. Interest method, sir, please put the tools down and step away from the vehicle. I'm kind of laughing at this. Because there was some things that didn't film. Again, this is my vehicle, so I work on my stuff a little bit different than I work on somebody else's. So I did laugh at it, but I did respond with, I have 100,000 miles on the first wheel bearing that I replaced, right? I did the driver's side wheel bearing down in Florida about 100,000 some miles ago. and then I never replaced the other one. So I think it's convenient that they both failed at the same time after I started doing mud bogs and driving through 5 feet of water. They both were caked in mud and all that. Mechanic that I talked to the other day, I'm not gonna mention any names just in case somebody hates the fact that he does this, but every one of those sealed bearings, he said that he has always impacted them on and just cranked them until they stop. And he has never had one come back. Now, the proper torque spec is around 130, 140 foot-pounds, and then you spin the wheel a couple of times, and then you torque it to like 260, 270, something like that. I didn't have an issue the first time I've impacted them on. I've done all of mine on this truck impacting them, but on customer vehicles, I've always done them the torque spec way. I've never had an issue either way. And in the video, I used a torque wrench to loosen bolts, but I didn't show that I retorqued them because I do retorque my caliper bolts because I've had some come loose, and it's really annoying when the caliper decides to come up and smack your wheel and damage a wheel. Luckily, I've never had to go through a wheel, but yes, I always torque them, and generally I use blue Loctite on them. Okay, so this one is on the PA Cop Took My License Over This. Mind you, this video got like 16,000 views, so there's a lot of comments on it, so that's where a lot of these are gonna come from. So this guy said, can't fix stupid. I agree with him on the tire issue. Okay, so that's fair, but then throwing insults out, kinda, yeah, you're throwing insults over a YouTube comment, or over a YouTube video, so whatever. If you were driving down the road and run over some garbage in the road and throw it through a windshield of a car and cause an accident and possibly kill someone. So, first of all, if you've ever been to Pennsylvania or even like Texas or Tennessee or any of that, these guys will drive with their tires literally sticking out an entire fender well, okay? I've seen people worse than me. I have about, I don't know, 2-3 inches, so like one tread patch sticks out, okay? And the thing about it is, he says that trash could come up and kill somebody. One, you shouldn't litter. Don't litter. If you see litter or you need to throw something away, put it in your pocket till you find a trash can. That's just me. But I said, you understand how cabin chassis trucks works, right? Or semis. So it is completely legal for me to remove that bed back there and only put mud flaps on, okay? And I'm perfectly fine. But if my tires stick out, and even if I put mud flaps that cover those tires, that's illegal because it goes past the body line. So I don't, you know, it's one way or the other. I don't understand the logic there. If it's illegal one way, why wouldn't I need wheel covers in general? But you don't need wheel covers if you don't have a bed. You just need mud flaps. That doesn't stop rocks from flying up, because they'll still fly up over the vehicle and they can smack oncoming traffic in, you know. So that's just my logic there. Why is it legal one way but not the other? You're worried about a little bit of tire poke, but you're allowing an entire tire to literally be uncovered, and 2 of them, especially if you have a dually. So that's my logic there. I responded to it if you want to go back and argue with the guy. But yeah, Zane Turner, that's the guy. Okay, now this one I know is not a hate comment. He's just messing around. I've done several videos with this guy. If you guys want to, go check him out, go subscribe to him. But Driven to Compete, he recently just hit 1,000 subscribers, and now he's at like 1,300 and some, so go subscribe to him. But he commented on the video about me getting pulled over, and he said, stop going through Carlisle. And all I could do is laugh at it, because I'm like, you know what? I know it's true. Unfortunately, I live here, but that was a good one. So, like I said, go subscribe to him. And he commented on the video, almost lost my entire business over this when I towed the truck. So, Clint Morgan also commented on that video. So, his comment was, seems self-inflicted. Okay, well, where that is fair that I got pulled over for one thing, I didn't realize that my license was suspended over something that I wasn't aware of. So again, I did go the next day and get it figured out. Unfortunately, they were closed, so I had to go the next day, but I did get it taken care of. It was $25, and then I paid the $90-some or whatever it is to reinstate the license, or renew the license, because it was gonna expire in October anyway. So whether I would have got pulled over or not, I don't know, but it is what it is. I got it taken care of. It got me 16,000 views on a video and another 8,000 views on another, and I picked up a couple hundred subscribers over it. So, and I'm fighting the ticket now because they didn't, I'm just fighting the ticket now for other reasons. So there will be an update video on that. So another, Carl Jones commented on the video, He said, at what point do you start to understand that those wide-ass wheels aren't worth all the attention the local police seem to have for you? Now, again, the issue isn't the wheels. The issue was the license. I am perfectly fine with getting a $102 ticket every now and again. Also, mind you that these are stock wheels. The wheels aren't the issue either. It's the tires and the spacers. But unfortunately, a lot of guys say you have to run a 2-inch spacer between the duals. I'm running 4 inches worth of spacers in between the dual. 2 inches on the inside of the dual and 2 inches between, just for that wide look. But again, $102 fine. I make one video on it and it pays for itself. So it's absolutely worth having, and I get more followers out of it. I love it, which also drag in more business. I'm happy with that. All right, so this comment was also on the video where I got pulled over. Joe Erickson. I don't know if this was directed at me or it was directed at the guy's stuff that I was working on. I have no idea. I assumed it was about me, so that's why I commented back the way I did, but I still hearted it. So he said, Joe Erickson said, guy's an idiot, can't take care of his own ride, wouldn't trust him to fix a Hot Wheel car. Okay, so I commented back, I said, you've never met a mechanic in your life, apparently. None of us give a shit. So, again, the only thing that is literally left wrong with my truck is the instrument cluster. That's it. Everything works. My 4-wheel drive works. Again, I did finally put the electronic back in. Look at that. You can hear it too. And then push the clutch in. 4 low. 4 high. 2 high. So you can see literally everything works again. So there's nothing wrong with the truck anymore except that instrument cluster. And that was a $200 part. So I straight up went, that was horrible. They had to order it for the next day for me to go get it. So yeah, not a big deal. Okay, so I'm not gonna go out of my way and call this guy a hater, because I think he's subscribed and he's commented a few times, so I don't have anything against this guy, but he commented on the towing Tow Piglet's ghost trailer or something like that. So I did a video on that. And he said, I'm gonna butcher it. I'm just gonna put the name on the screen. I can't even, but he said, LOL, you keep saying this is a reliable truck, but I see lots of repair videos. Good thing you don't mind working on it. Good vids though. Join Rumble. So yeah, it's not a hate comment, but he does make sense. And I did an explanation of this. It's not about like for what it is. If something breaks, I can still drive the truck. Anything that breaks on this thing, I can fix it, and I've never been late when I was doing RV transport. You know, little dumb things will break. I even had the rear end go out at one point. I just put it in 4-wheel drive and drove home. I was empty, and not a big deal. Swapped the rear end out in a day, and then was back on the road, headed out to California from New York. So, not really a big deal. It's just that everything is super easy to fix. Parts are available. It's predictable. Everything that's gonna break on this thing, you know it's gonna break. I do also, in all fairness, I do kind of wait until things break before I replace them instead of just doing the basic maintenance. So that's on me, not really the truck. So, but hey, it still beats you CP4 guys that now have to wait until the end of 2021 if your CP4s fail. So that's a nightmare and a half. All right, so on the video with the wheel bearing, Fritz Duvall, he commented, CP could be the worst pickup on earth, ? Thinking face. So I was like, yeah, how dare it break when I beat the hell out of it and take it to 5 foot of water and mud. So I do kind of abuse the hell out of this thing. I've taken it literally through all of the water, all of the mud, and you know, it breaks. I think that's why both of my wheel bearings failed. So good comment, nothing against it. Okay, so the video I did on the lift kit install on Tow Piglet's nitrous equipped truck, Adrian Peets, he shows up every now and again to give a hate comment. So he's one of those. This guy said, this clown, AKA Little Miller, drives a POS Dodge that he can't even make a dash work or repair. Again, I don't think anybody commenting can actually fix my instrument cluster. Like, nobody. That's like a specialty, you know, fix, unless I replace it. But again, parts availability. He's always blaming everyone for parts not working. So I don't blame anybody else for things that happen. I explain a situation, I explain how it happened, and I explain the logic behind it. And if somebody takes it that I'm blaming somebody else, just straight up stupidity. But, I mean, again, I commented back, I said, keep the views coming, you're the reason I keep getting more work at my shop. Simple as that. People like that hate and just to put comments on something because they don't like somebody or they're mad that somebody else is more successful than them, they are the reason that you will get more successful. Oh, and he commented again on that same video. So he said, you can tell this clown has never been fast because he's abusing Alex's diesel truck instead of just driving it normal. He's abusing a truck that's not his. So in the video, Alex and I did a clip. I was filming out the back window, and Alex, when he pulled out, he decided, you know, kick it sideways and blow a lot of smoke and just do a burnout. And in the video, we made it seem like I was the one that did that, and then we did a skit afterwards. Nobody knows about this. And he commented and told me that I was the one abusing his truck when that was Alex driving his own truck. And Alex was the one who told me to do it. So I actually didn't drive Alex's truck at all when I was down there because I've driven it before. And quite frankly, it's not all that impressive to drive anyway. Like, yeah, it makes cool noises and it moves a good bit, but it's only got a 100 horse tune. I mean, my truck, I was running 175 horse tune when I was driving it, doing transport, and even before that. So it's like, my truck was actually making a little bit, or I would say 50 more horsepower than Alex's, and just shy like 1,000 torque. But again, mine's a stick too, so it's like, it moves, and then you got to shift it, re-spool it, and then go again. But you get my point. But yeah, I wasn't the one actually driving it, so Adrian Peets, good stuff. Okay, so here we go on the video with Tow Piglet's trailer broken down. This was when I went down to Texas. It's like 1,500 miles. So James Stafford said, I don't understand how someone can be a mechanic and have so many issues going down the road. This is sad and pathetic. Just saying, you don't even have the right socket for the spindle nut, nor did you torque the nut upon install to allow for appropriate end play. First of all, every trailer axle nut that I've ever done, I have never done any differently. And I've never had one come back. I've never had a spindle or a bearing or any of that stuff break. So I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I did the job. Not to mention, it's the same way that Alex does it. I don't think Alex has ever had a wheel bearing failure on one of his trailers. Did it the same way that I always do it. Alex said he does it the same way, and how many trailers Alex owns and never had a problem. So I don't know if this guy's an idiot or he just wants to hate or what, but whatever, I'm good with it. More views. Oh, sweet. So I did a video a while back on double stacking dually spacers and trying to break them. So this guy, Joe Erickson, he commented, he said, tires should not touch at all, period. You're a jackass. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a fun fact here, okay? If you have dually tires and they touch at the bottom, as they're spinning, that contact surface is always at the bottom. So where they're spinning, they're touching, and it's constantly moving where they're touching. If your tires touch the entire way around, you will never have an issue. Unless pending one goes flat and, you know, something like that, maybe. But I know people that have never run spacers between their duals, have been running tires for, I don't know, I'd like to say at least 120,000 miles, replacing them at the normal 40 to 50 to 60,000 mile intervals, and have never had a tire blowout letting them touch. I drove all the way down to Texas and back, letting my tires touch all the way around, and did not have one issue. Not one. So, and I was doing about 70 to 75 miles an hour the entire way down there. Not a problem. That's a fact. They can touch all the way around and they will not blow out. If they touch at the bottom or in one spot and you're driving, they will blow out. Okay, so same video, 96 Dodge Ram commented, that's definitely not the solution for you. It looks ridiculous. Yes, in my opinion, I like the look of it, but he said, yeah, it's not the solution. It looks ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, they stick out a good bit. I like it. I'm good with that. Okay, Tall Geese 67. I like this comment. I liked this comment a lot because I've been saying unsubscribe, dislike, you know, all that. Tall Geese 67 said, when you start making good content, I'll unsubscribe. I love that comment. Oh, I like it. That's not a hate comment by any means, you know, I'll take that. Comments like that, you guys need to start making comments like that, I love it. Okay, so on the video, PennDOT tried to suspend my license. John Pittman commented, he said, you're a fucking dum-dum. Stay off our US roads until you can get your shit together. I commented back and I said, you had me rolling, not gonna lie. I just kind of had to laugh at that. I'm like, okay, so this one I know is a joke on the Mariah Perez, because Mariah Perez actually made a bunch of hate comments, just a bunch of cyberbullying stuff. So I'm like, I'll probably at this point, I'll just block the guy, because he commented, he made like 15 different comments. But one of them, he said, I almost killed Tow Piglet. Okay, so I did a video called Mariah Perez, I almost killed Tow Piglet. I had fun with it, I really did. So Tyler Howerton commented, truck looks like shit with a laugh face, and a couple emojis. I know he's just joking around. I liked the comment. I thought it was funny, but yeah, so Mariah Perez, I almost killed Tow Piglet. Go check that video out. So this was after I serviced Alex's truck. And he had a wheel bearing failure like 10,000, I don't know, 5,000 miles later or something. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I never touched the actual thing. I never touched the brakes and I never touched the bearings. And that was what his thing was. And it's like, I did exactly what I was paid to do and told to do. Alex knew it wasn't my fault. I had nothing to do with that part of the truck. So, okay, so how to add 100 horsepower for free, 12 valve Cummins. So as you guys know, I did a 12 valve swap on my truck. Again, I'm gonna put this comment up because I can't get the guy's name. I know he's not hating. I know it's not really a hate comment, but what he says makes sense. And I'm gonna try to debunk it here with how I did it. So basically he said, hate to say it, but Frankenstein projects and reliable never seem to wind up in the same sentence. Where this is true, this truck has been put together with all stock parts. So everything that I need, anything that I need to replace on it, like the engine, it's a stock 96 12 valve. You know, the pump, the filters, everything is there. I don't need to worry about waiting on a fast filter or an aftermarket intake or intake filter or vice versa. I can just go into any auto parts store, buy whatever I need. Everything that needs replaced down the road is completely stock. The turbo's off of 2012. It's stock. I can go buy it anywhere. And it's taking me some time now. I got to really start scrolling down. I haven't gotten too many hate. There was like a good bit in there. I wasn't getting any bad comments. But Jonathan Hudson commented on the video of me fixing Alex's trailer a while back. It was a good long video. He commented, rattle cans, really? You just wasted his money? What a hack. Unfortunately, I do what I'm told. I do what I was recommended. I do what I was told within the budget. I am not a body guy, I'm not a painter, and I'm not a prepper for paint or any of that. I was told to clean off as much of the rust as possible. I sprayed it with rust inhibitor, and then we sprayed the frame and everything black with the spray paint, and then we I rhino lined the underside. That's what I was told to do. That's exactly how I was told to do it. I don't have a paint booth. I don't have any of that stuff, and this guy just, I don't know, he wanted to complain about it, and it's like, and then he goes and likes his own comments. That's about it. Also, I must say, Toad Piglet commented on the video itself and said, good job, Steve. So, okay, so I did a video on an update on Alex's trailer, and I was doing the 12 valve air conditioning in my 2004. Chris Carlson commented, he said, get an Enterprise Ford because before something really terrible happens, what you've got here is a hobby truck. So I don't think that this guy understands the fact that why would you get an Enterprise rental, pay $4,000 down, 22 cents a mile for a truck that I'm using for mobile work? I'm not using it for transport. I don't drive 10,000 miles a month anymore like I used to. And not to mention, I would lose money on that Enterprise deal because I do my own work, my own everything to the truck. And it is physically cheaper for me to run this truck than it ever would be for the Enterprise rental. Now, for a normal person that would go out and buy a new truck, Enterprise rental all day. There is no way that anybody will be able to ever match that 22 cents a mile. But in my case, that comment was just, it didn't make sense. So, hobby truck. I mean, this thing's been making me a lot of money for the past couple years, so I'm super happy with that. And it's like everything that it cost, like it only cost me a couple $1,000s to get this thing back up to par, and now there's nothing wrong with it except the instrument cluster. Like, I'm not worried about it, and I'm not going to go buy a new truck because in my case, I'm not going to go buy a new truck, spend $1,200 a month on a payment, and then have to worry about that stupid CP4 that they decided to throw on there, and parts aren't available until the end of 2021. He says endless unpredictability and unexpected truck-related issues. No, everything that's broken on this truck has been very predictable. Everything. Rear end going out, predictable. Transfer case broke, predictable. All of it's been predictable. I've known it was going to happen for the longest time, and I end up fixing it. Never been late to a drop-off when I did RV transport. So, okay, so I did a video on floating my NV 5600. I do not use the clutch when I shift. So this guy, Doug Anderson, he said, if you want to pretend you're a big boy trucker, just buy a truck with a medium duty transmission. All you idiots floating gears on the NV 5600s just break the synchro blockers and springs and fuck them up. Again, internet mechanic knows nothing of what the hell he's talking about, because I also commented back, I said literally 451,000 original miles. I also said I can float my transmission as much as I want, and if it breaks, I'll buy another one. Who cares? It's a transmission. I can go get one of these for $2,000 if I want to and throw it in. It's got 451,000 miles on it. If this well, no, right now it's got like 460. But if this transmission breaks, you know, at 460,000 miles, should I be mad that my transmission only lasted 460,000 miles? No, I shouldn't. The motor only lasted 443,000 miles before I replaced it for a blown compression ring. So again, I float my transmission and I don't worry about it, and I don't need a truck with a medium duty transmission. I have no need for a medium duty truck. I don't. People just are dumb. Okay, so I've read enough of these. I think I'm gonna finish it off with this one. James Smith, awesome customer. I did work for him a while back. I did a video, go check this video out. I did airbag suspension on his, and he said, I will be glad to recommend you to anyone. I have no problems with your work. I love my airbag system. I plan on seeing you in September for a valve adjustment and head studs install. So again, I get some super awesome customers. A lot of you guys, a lot of the stuff I really don't film. I should film more of, but I don't because it's work, and a lot of times it's like, it's just kind of awkward to ask, but I know I should ask to film more. But again, super awesome customer, and yeah, so that's about it. So at the end of the day as well, I mean, this truck isn't really a trailer princess. It's not a pavement princess. It does get used off-road occasionally. You guys can see here, I'll expose myself, how the underside of this thing looks. Like, you can see the exhaust is pieced together, but that's literally it. Like, everything under here, everything works fine. It's just a little dirty. No rust, just a lot of dirt. So let me know how ugly you think this thing is and how impractical you think it is. That's pretty much gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, if you liked the video, unsubscribe, leave a hate comment, and dislike the video. See you guys in the next one. Have a good one.